Ladies and gentlemen, we're on the way. Welcome aboard to the people who've joined us on Tower Pier. There's a couple of people who got on the boat there for their safety. So we've got to do the safety announcement again. So it's just routine. We've got to do it. And we carry life rafts on the roof. Life jackets stowed away. Ship's radio. Yourself and me, colleague, we're here for your safety. Thames Ultimate. Toilets and bars, as I say, are open throughout the journey. Is everybody happy still? Have you had a nice day? Who's on the boat early, weren't they? You're alright? Yeah? Jolly good. So we take it in turns, doing the little commentaries. Give them a little wave up there. Careful. Careful. Yeah. Oh, seriously, we cleaned the top deck this morning. We've got it all nice and clean, right? And then on the way up, to go and pick up our first passengers, there was kids up there. I don't know what they'd thrown at first, but I looked back and say the top deck, half of it was covered with egg salad. It's like 3 or 4 people's dinner worth of egg salad out here. Yeah. That was a good start. I'll continue talking on the way down to Greenwich. So there's a couple of pubs, a restaurant in London, so you can sit outside, watch the river go by. Keep looking to the right, and there's a silver bridge crossing between the buildings. Look behind it, that's St Saviour's Dock. You see all the mud up there? It was into the mud. Fagin dropped all these jewels in that movie, Oliver. Yeah, where Bill Sykes fell to his death. This area of London, this is Bermondsey to the right, and this is where Charles Dickens grew up. He spent a lot of his life here, a famous writer, a young boy, so he grew up here trying to find work. And in the days of Charles Dickens, Bermondsey was a very poor area. It was well known for its pickpocketing, robberies and murders and muggings. It's still pretty much the same today, really. Pirates were taken to this pub. They were given their last drink, probably to get them a little bit drunk, make them a little bit more pliable, easy to work with, because the next thing they'd know, being taken out that pub, taken down the stairs, the pirates, and chained to the beach, chained to the ground at low tide. And they were left there until 3 tides had washed over their body. It was the grace of Wapping. And it went all the way up until the 1800s. For centuries before, say, an untold amount of pirates had been drowned here at Wapping. See, the police are very, very busy as usual, these boys. Like, not working much, never do. We've got Rubber Hive, lovely sandy beaches again on the right, look at that. Sunbathing, people do that. I'd love to live there, look, walk out your door, you got a beach right in front of your house. That's someone's houseboat as well, look, tied up there. On the left, look, they're all over there, look, more sand. These buildings, of course, years ago were just warehouses. The word wharf, W-H-A-R-F, that stands for warehouse at river fronts. And that's where they'll find a wharf of the local high streets, docks and canals. There's a nice little pub on the right. It's a nice little pub. Sometimes we go over after work. So this is the East End of London. So he settled down in the East End. He married a lovely girl, a Cockney. So this is where you would have found many Cockneys to be living on the left years ago. Many Cockneys. So not many live here today. Not many. They've all gone out to places like Essex and Spain. There's a few living out there today. Globe Wharf on the right. That's an old warehouse. Very old, about 160 years old now, this building. One of the oldest still standing along the river. And you can see easily that there's no footpath. Look at the buildings either side, look at that jogger. Ramsey. You know that man with Tourette's? Yeah? Does swear a lot, doesn't he? Does swear a lot. He sells £100 burgers, does he? Well, companies, they're coming out of the city and coming down here. Look through Canary Wharf, through the big gap. Well, first of all, you can see the train, the DLR. There you go, that's running by. But behind the train, those yellow cranes, that's the O2 Arena. That's the O2 down there. And so is the river. The river is just on the other side of Canary Wharf. The river goes in front of us, then to the left, and comes back. It's called Corrie. That years ago used to bring coal up into London. And with their empty barges, as they left London, they would take away London's rubbish. All the garbage they could put in their barges, because they were empty of coal, they could take away all London's rubbish. But now that's all they do is they bring empty barges in, there's nothing in it. They bring empty barges in and take away all of London's wastes. Back on as we get around the point and Greenwich comes into view. Well, thanks for listening so far. So I'll be back on very soon. Everybody happy out there? Jolly good. Alright, I'll be back on very soon. Thank you. The Cutty Sark, and up on the hill there's the observatory, where all time is set throughout the world. You start travelling east from this point, you start adding hours on. Travelling west, you'll start taking them off. Every clock around the world is set to GMT. So from here you either take away or add. The old...
Okay, I'll try. Oh, this?
Designed by Christopher Wren, where the Navy were taught, trained. Now it's a university.
ladies and gentlemen, so on the left, we're just passing our base, Cherry Garden Pier. So once we drop the usual passengers off, so Tower Pier in the west, this is where we time the boats up. So we should be at Tower Pier about 7 o'clock, Westminster 7 o'clock. On the right there's a pub, just where the people are standing. Look at the top of the stairs, the town of Ramsgate. The foreshore to the right, years ago it's where they drowned pirates. Pirates were taken to the... We'll start away to your left in the river, the famous warship, HMS Belfast. She was built in Belfast at Northern Ireland, in the same shipyard as the Titanic. Saw lots of action in the Second World War. So she's open to the public, free for the children. The archway to your left, a shopping complex. A little dock years ago. Once upon a time, barges would have sailed into the dock. All these warehouses to your left are now offices, banks, casinos, and there's even a private hospital to your left there, just in front of us, London Bridge Hospital. Very expensive. If you look above, the one before this one, it's in America. It was sinking, so we took it down. They rebuilt it in the Arizona desert. I'm not joking, I'm being serious here, folks. Has anyone ever seen it before in America? Yeah, look, a few people. So you've seen it in America, eh? So we sold it for $2 million. They sinking into the Thames mud. On the left, Southwark Cathedral, built in the 14th century. And also to your left there, the sailing ship, the Golden Hind, first Englishman to sail the world in 1577. Now, of course, they can only get it out the dock at high water, and to get beneath the bridge, they have to take all the masting off. But so that has been around the world twice, a real ship. On the right, new office buildings in the capital city. This area is the 1 square mile capital city. A very busy railway station on the right as well, Cannon Street. And if you look at the foreshore, they've raised the foreshore. And it was done a long time ago. Tugs today, big tugs, they come up the river. On the high water, they tow the barges down the river. Inside the boxes, garbage, black bags, London's rubbish. No offence if anyone is from Essex, of course, but we do send it to Essex and they scatter it on the wet, boggy fields at Rainham and at Mucking. I used to work there years ago, down at Cleanaway. If you look to your left in front of us, the round white building, and that's the replica of William Shakespeare's Globe Theatre, opened by the Queen nearly 20 years ago. You can go there, you can have a guided tour. Certain days of the week, they even reenact a play. It will turn shortly, and it will start to flood. It's probably already flooding behind us near the Thames barrier, 6 miles away. It's coming up the river, and it will start to flood here very shortly. It then floods for 5 hours, rising 7 metres. Lots of people start digging on the foreshore. When you had the Great Fire of London, lots of people came here with their valuables, trying to get onto boats to escape the fire. They say lots of valuables are often found on the low tide. Say things will resurface after hundreds of years. A very busy footbridge, the Blade of Light. Opened in the year 2000 tomorrow. You can go above the dome. Look on top of it. There's a platform for the public. The views are just as good as the London Eye. There's only one small problem. There's no lift. To get to the top, there's over 500 steps. It's well worth the effort though, it really is. Because when you get there, you can spend as long as you like up there, looking all over the city. Now we are roughly halfway to Westminster, nearly halfway. So he was involved with the Vatican and apparently the mafia, the mafiosi. And that's where they found him in the early 80s. Yeah, you're right, so it was on that one. They found him there beneath the bridge. A very religious area, Blackfriars. You see, years ago, when Henry VIII wanted to remarry, the Pope would not allow King Henry to remarry. So what he done, he formed the Church of England, and he destroyed all of the monasteries. We had a monastery on the right, it was called Blackfriars. All the friars, they wore black gowns, hence the name, Blackfriars. Very religious, this area. Hotel on the left, well, it will be next year, a new hotel on the river. And next door to it, the Oxo building. Oxo, very famous in this country anyway. It's a little beef stock cube. You add boiling water, you stir it, and it turns it into gravy. Oxo gravy, very famous. They used to make it over there. Look on the roof of that building, there's a restaurant, Harvey Nichols. It's a very nice restaurant on the top floor. On the right, ladies and gentlemen, on the river's wall, the Lion's Heads. Now the tide, it won't go that high today. It'll probably go just beneath the Jeremy Kyle show. So some brilliant programmes, ladies and gentlemen, I am forced to watch when I go on. Honestly, every night is on. X Factor, The Voice. I'm off tomorrow, so probably have Jeremy Kyle every day. It's a lovely bridge, that one. Waterloo, the Ladies' Bridge. A hotel on the right. You see the hotel with the green tiled roof? The London Savoy Hotel. So very nice, quite expensive. The cheapest room overlooking the river, £1,000 per night. The most expensive comes with 2 sausages. And they're lovely sausages in there, I'll tell you. Well, in front of us we have a railway bridge, Charing Cross. The station on the right. This area, the West End, on the right hand side, the West End of the year 2000. British Airways, they called it a flight. And to take a flight, it will take 25 minutes. You couldn't really ask for a better day to go onto the river. Lovely blue skies. You'll see for about 20 miles over London. Now it's not too busy, look, it's got a bit quieter. There's a few empty pods at the bottom. The wheel is downstairs at the front. We've got you in nice and safely. We don't want to see any accidents, so please hold on tight as we tie the boat up, just in case there's a bump. Make sure you've got your bags and all of your cameras before you leave us. There's an underground station on the right, and there's bus stops as well, just behind us. The final thing, if I may, a very quick mention about the commentary. As I said earlier, I would imagine a lot of you have been on the boat today, so you probably had a commentary already. A lot of the crews, they just put the microphone down. But I think it's only fair that you get a commentary, so you've bought a ticket. Our sportsmen on the river, I'm only too happy to stand here all day talking to you. Hopefully I've made the trip a bit more interesting, a bit more enjoyable. As we do it voluntary,